Hey folks, let's dive into this wild tale. The bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They packed a punch equal to about 15 kilotons of TNT. Crazy, right? But get this, the radioactive junk those blasts spewed into the air was peanuts compared to what happened here. 400 times less, actually. We're talking a nightmare that left behind this massive dome today, standing 354 feet tall and 840 feet across. It's like a giant concrete band-aid over one of history's scariest screw-ups, the kind that had even America's arch-nemesis, the Soviet Union, sweating bullets and scrambling. Yeah, this is the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown, where one little oops turned into a boom worth 225 tons of TNT. Mind-blowing how a tiny glitch snowballed into global chaos. So, picture the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, tucked away in this shiny planned town called Pripyat, just 100 kilometers north of Kyiv, Ukraine's capital. Back then, in 1986, Ukraine was still locked under the Soviet thumb. Cold War vibes were everywhere, you know? Tensions high, superpowers flexing, and the Soviets were all in on nuclear power to keep the lights on and show off. They cranked out plants left and right, and Chernobyl was one of their crown jewels. It had 4 massive reactors, numbered 1 through 4, like a quartet of beasts, each churning out 1,000 megawatts of juice. Together, they powered half the Soviet Union's population. That's millions of folks binge-watching. Well, whatever passed for TV back then, all thanks to atoms splitting like nobody's business. Alright, let's break it down simple, 'cause nuclear stuff sounds sci-fi, but it's basically a high-stakes tea party. Inside the reactor, uranium atoms get zapped by neutrons, kicking off a chain reaction that heats up water to crazy levels. That water boils into steam, blasts through turbines like a pressure washer on steroids, and bam, electricity flows. But chains? They don't play nice. Once that reaction fires up, it's like a runaway train. You gotta slam the brakes, or it goes full apocalypse. Enter the heroes, 211 control rods per reactor, made of boron carbide that soaks up those pesky neutrons like a sponge. Neutrons hit the rods instead of uranium. Reaction chills out, no boom. Oh, but plot twist, the tips of these rods. Graphite. We'll circle back to why that's a disaster waiting to happen. This whole shebang ran nonstop, 24/7, cranking temps inside to a blistering 1,600 degrees Celsius. That's like 1/3 the scorch on the sun's surface. Insane heat that could melt your face off. So, cooling was life or death. They piped in water lines, pumped fresh H2O through the core constantly, just like coolant keeping your truck's engine from grenading on a road trip. Solid plan, except Chernobyl's reactors had this massive design hoopsie no one saw coming. In your pickup, shut off the engine, coolant stops sloshing. But nuke it up, and even after you kill the reaction, the core's still glowing hot for hours, baking like a forgotten pizza. Pumps had to keep humming, no brakes allowed. Power for those pumps came from the plant's own turbines most days. Backup? Diesel generators on standby. But here's the hitch. Flipping to backups meant a 60-second blackout for the pumps. Engineers were like, nah, can't have that dry spell. So they rigged a safety net. Shutdown doesn't mean instant blackout. Power ramps down slow from 1,000 megawatts, buying those 60 seconds to keep pumps spinning till the diesels kick in. Smart, right? They installed it, but, big but, testing was mandatory, and Reactor 4 never got the green light. Reactors 1, 2, and 3 aced it, but 4 was the new kid and proven. Cut to April 25, 1986, evening shift. They're gearing up for that big safety test on Reactor 4, overseen by Deputy Chief Engineer Anatoly Dyatlov, a guy with a rep for being all business, no quit. This test had bombed twice before on 4, but word is Dyatlov was hell-bent on nailing it tonight. Rules be damned. Rulebook said, run it at 700 megawatts steady. Normal ops? Full throttle 1,000. Dyatlov calls for control rods in to dial it back. Reaction eases up. All good. Then oof. Rods go too deep. Power plummets to a measly 30 megawatts. Panic mode. Pull some rods out. Nudge it to 200. Still low. Yank a few more. Now, out of 211 rods, only 8 are doing their job. Rulebook screams, minimum 15, dude. Massive violation. Boom. Consequences hit like a freight train. Reaction surges wild, Power spikes past 1,000, into the thousands. Heat goes nuclear, pun intended. Water flashes to steam in seconds, cores drying out like a forgotten sponge. Control room? Pure freakout. Alarms blaring, reactor shaking like it's possessed. One fix. AZ, 5-button, emergency scram. Slams every rod home, kills the chain dead. They mash it, and seconds later, kaboom. Reactor rips open in a blast. Seismographs clocked at 225 tons of TNT. For scale, Hiroshima's little boy? This spewed 400 times the radioactive crap into the sky. It was 1:23 a.m., April 26th. Lights out for 2 engineers on site. Burns for 2 more. Why'd the rods backfire? Those graphite tips, man. Boron stops the party, but graphite? It's like throwing gas on a fire. Ramps neutrons up, supercharges the chain. Reaction was already feral. Tips hit, and it's game over. Walls couldn't take it, blue sky high. Fire erupts in Reactor 4. Graphite inferno, not your backyard barbecue. Folks thought, just put it out. No clue, 50 tons of hot radioactive sludge, just aerosolized. Fire crews roll in, hoses blasting, but graphite laughs at water. It burned for days. Pripyat? Evacuated at gunpoint. 49,000 souls. Buses lined up like a bad dream. Shipped to Slavutic hours away. Emergency lockdown. Next 10 days? Hellish. Choppers dumping 5,000 tons of sand, clay, boron, anything to smother it. Fire out by day 10, but leaks? Still hissing radiation for weeks. Firefighters. Heroes turned victims. Dosed heavy, some gone in days, others months later from acute syndrome. Soviets tried burying it. Cold War paranoia, can't look weak. But 36 hours post-blast, Swedish sensors light up. Radiation parties coming from the east. April 28th, they fess up to the world. Even then, danger lingered. Under the wreckage, a bubbler pool swelling with radioactive soup. Steam it up? Second explosion, goodbye Eastern Europe. Drain it? Suicide dive. Dark, toxic water, valves buried. No takers, till 3 badasses step up. Alexei Ananenko, mech engineer, Valery Bezpolov, senior tech, Boris Baranov, shift boss. They dive in, grope blind for valves, crack 'em open. Water drains, crisis averted. Suicide squad, they called it. Miracle? All 3 surfaced alive. Damage? Catastrophic. Iodine, 131 and worse rained down. Thyroid cancer city for thousands, especially kids, and cleanup crews, the liquidators. First 4 months, 31 direct deaths. Long haul. For 1,000 plus from radiation cancers, per estimates. Real toll? Sky high, uncountable. Europe? Forests bleached red, grass poisoned, wildlife twisted. Rain spread the glow, cows munching tainted hay, milk turning toxic. Fast forward, Pripyat's a ghost town, exclusion zone locked. 38 years on, as of 24, radiation's still whispering out, lethal for another 400. That dome. New safe confinement, $3 billion steel beast slid in 2016, seals it tight for a century, no leaks on our watch. Phew, what a ride, right? That's the fractured tale of Chernobyl, how one rush test cracked the world open. If this hit home, smash that like, share with your crew, and drop a comment. What's the closest call you've dodged? Appreciate y'all tuning into Fractured Frames. Catch you next time for more epic breakdowns. Stay curious, stay safe. Peace.